Hi guys, thanks for being here with me tonight. I am going to go ahead and pop in here and talk to you about constructing a call to action. So what is a call to action, or what we refer to as a CTA a lot in our business? It's pretty much the sentence that closes the deal, right? It's that little push at the before or end of your post that really puts the seal on the deal. It closes the deal. It kind of gives that motivation. But I'm going to talk to you about it because so often you put so much time and energy into your stories and into your posts, but you're not getting the engagement, or the yeses that you would hope to get for the amount of work you're putting in. So the reason is because you're putting up your post and you're slapping a half-hearted call to action on to the end of it, right? Well, you need a very strong call to action, especially in network marketing and being as we run our business on social media platforms. So the two main purposes of a call to action that every single call to action post has, and as you dive into this business a little bit more, you're going to see that not every post needs a call to action, right? So I do call to actions usually on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, because I always have a super strong call to action on Sunday. And why I choose Sunday is because normally most, people, especially moms, are preparing for the week and how the chaos of this week I have to do X, Y, and Z and go here, there, and everywhere, and we have this with school. And I talk to the mom of how much easier it is now that I'm a stay-at-home mom, that I can first fill in my children's activities and then plan my business around it. So that's why Sunday is my main call to action day. And if I don't do any other call to actions through the week, that's okay too, because Sunday I use such a strong call to action that it works, okay? So the two main purposes are, you need to tell someone what to do. You want them to join your challenge group. You want them to join your team. You have to tell them the what, right? And then you have to kind of give them the motivation, or tell them the motivation to do it. Like I just gave the example. Wouldn't it be awesome if you didn't have to go to work from 8 to 5 and you could get your kids everywhere they need to be and work on your own schedule? Whatever that motivation or pain point is, you're going to use that to go hand in hand with what you want them to do. So usually we tell people what to do with our posts, right? We tell them to join our challenge groups, join our team, give themselves this amazing freedom, all the things. But we never tell them why to do it, right? So that is why, without those two things, which is usually what's going on right now because we're focusing on a success club, is without those two things you have a shitty conversion rate. And I don't mean that in a bad way, other than if you had really strong call to actions and maybe you decide to do a call to action every day, I'm going to tell you that they'll start to wear out. But let's say that's what you decide to do, maybe for the next 8 days of the month or 7 days of the month, whatever's left. And you will have a much higher conversion rate because you're going to tell them what to do. You're going to give them the motivation to do it. And you're going to use pain points to do that, okay? So sometimes the content can happen and go before the call to action, and maybe that content answers their questions within it about joining the challenge group, what they're going to get, what you're going to expect. Or by joining my team, they might earn financial freedom. They might earn, you have to be really careful about that. Of course, they have to earn it, but the possibilities are there, and that starts their mind going and answers a lot of those questions, right? But it's always good, even if you answer that in your call to action or in the content of your post before the call to action, you need to freaking recap the call to action. If you start with it, you need to end with it, right? And I always, no matter where I put it, recap my call to action and say it one more time because it has to be pretty compelling, okay? So if you recap it, it makes that call to action a little more powerful because you've already planted the seed, and then they start reading the post, and the next thing you know, you reiterate that call to action. and their mind's already trying to make the decision through the content, that then when you recap it, they're like, yes. And that's why call to actions can be so stinking powerful if you use them correctly. It really is a little bit of a numbers and a mind game. So by using this type of call to action or this type of content post, you're going to see a higher rate of return. Okay, so within this call to action post, we give some content, right? We talk to them about what we have to offer, which you guys know everything we have with challenge groups, nutrition groups, the products, and the coaching opportunity. So you should be able to pull the pieces of your journey that you love and use that as the main body of your content. But I want you to start using extreme examples. So these are my tips. Like, I always try to throw a few of these in. Don't try to go for all, or it's going to get a little in depth. But like, I'll always use an extreme example. Like, a good one for this week was last week Mason was out all sick with pneumonia. And had I worked in corporate America, I would have had to take a vacation week. I would have had to use sick time. I would have had to use some sort of time off. When instead I was able to be home with my kid, construct my day around his appointments, and live this, amazing lifestyle as a mom first, which is what I've always wanted. But you're not always going to have an extreme example. So use those as you have them. Don't always have an extreme example, because then it's unrelatable, right? Because it's not something out of the ordinary when they're like, oh, there's her with this thing again, So make sure when you have an extreme example, you can use that. But get right to the point. A lot of times, I see these posts so long that people have lost it. Even if you recap your call to action at the end, they're so lost in whatever you just typed out for 4 pages that they are not moved, to action. So a good friend of mine, Bonnie Engel, explained to me, we were talking about those types of posts. And she's like, if it doesn't fit in what Instagram allows, make it so it does. So that's always been like my rule of thumb. I always laugh. I think there's only been one time in my history, and it was about my Pico Duarte trek, which was just recently, that I've ever continued in the comments, okay? So make sure, if it doesn't fit in Instagram, that you need to make it fit, because it does not need to be a freaking novel. We are on social media all the time. Our businesses live in and out of inboxes and on the social media platform. Not the average, person and regular 9 to 5 is doing that. So when they come in and they're like, oh my gosh, this girl has so much on Instagram, they're not going to read it. Like, hands down, they skim over it. They might pick a few points out, but they're probably going to miss your call to action. So make sure you get right to the point. Another great thing that you can, like I said, you're going to pick 3 of these points. So I've used an extreme example, get right to the point. Number 3 is urgency. You guys, space is limited. Using that one sentence makes people, have the urge to want to do it. They don't want to miss out. That FOMO thing is crazy. Some people live their whole lives by FOMO. So use urgency, but I see space is limited all the time. Like, I'm only filling 10 spots. That's rad, but I want you guys to think about time. Like, you only have till the end of the month, right, to enroll, or put a time frame on it that makes them feel like, a lot of people will say like the next, or the people that purchase today will get $10 off or something like that. And I'll be honest with you, I never do really well with flash sales. I mean, I could sell them all day long, but I'm like, why would I give them money back when the product is already such an amazing value as it is? Like, I've never had to discount it or sell it in that way, because I just so passionately believe about it. But one thing I do put on there is I always make sure, like, I only have 5 spots or 10 spots. And I never reopen that page up in my stories. If I fill 10, I don't roll over to be like, I'm going to go open 10 more, because people start to see that. I always keep it at that. And if I fill those, that's great. I'm like, I start enrolling for my next group, change the name, change the graphic. I never allow more than what I say, because I have to keep that urgency. That space is limited, sacred. But I want you guys to think about time, not just in a monthly way, not just in a daily way, but if you can put time urgency on your call to action posts and in your content, people are going to start locking that in in the same time you throw something out. So a lot of times my invites as well as my call to actions will be like, can I count you in on this today? Something like that. Or, can I have you by next week? I always look at like paydays in the 2-week increments. Like, is this something you could do by Friday? If so, I'll hold your spot. Something like that. But I need your yes right now. You want to put a time and space, urgency, to your call to action. Or one or the other, but use urgency. Okay, number 4 is like, make sure you briefly explain to them, because remember, we want to get to the point, but what they get. Like, I think it's super important that you don't just give them what a challenge pack entails or is included in a challenge pack. You really want to talk to them about their transformation that they're going to get, right? And show proof maybe of one of yours or one of your clients. And a good one I love to use that gets a lot, because I do have a lot of like moms or college students paying off debt, that kind of stuff, is from this to this. Because I was that college student with $40,000 in student loans and trying to work a job to pay those off. And when I started making an extra income with Beachbody, I was able to live off my regular job with money left over, and Beachbody was paying my student loans. Or before Beachbody, it doesn't even have to be financial. Before Beachbody, I thought drinking 2 bottles of water was a lot of water in a day. Now I'm like, I strive for a gallon. I never knew to prep my meals or sort anything out or even make a plan until I became a coach. Like, those life skills that they will obtain by doing this is also something they get for their $160. It goes so far beyond the challenge pack. A lot of people will use the community, the girl gang, that kind of stuff. But also talk about outside of that $160, because one of my call to action posts was a gym comparison, and over the time, a year of the gym was way more than the $100 bod package, right? So think about everything you could get for free. Or some, like, utilize the sale. They're getting $20 off. Utilize the pumpkin spice right now. There is so much incentive, but always use your wording in a way that they feel like they're getting something more for, the total cost of the $160. So how I do that is I say my virtual studio is, on sale this month from $200 to $160, and I'm throwing in a free bag of Shakeology. And so that's been a little difficult this month because they're also getting pumpkin spice. So it's hard to say that, so I'm using just pumpkin spice. But in any other time, I would literally word it as it's $160 for the workouts. And they're getting their first free month of Shake for free. And they think they're getting so much more value when you tell them that's $130 value, okay? So that works out awesome. And then another thing, point number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is brand awareness. And I don't mean you have to go start a logo and you want people to know your brand that way, or the colors of your logo or anything like that. Who are you as a coach? Because if you ask a lot of friends or family, I've been doing this for 6 years, so my brand is very established, in that I am a no excuses, no bullshit coach. Like, I don't do the fluffy, yay, yes, I cheer everybody on, I help them, but I am a no-nonsense kind of coach that gets results. I've helped over 5 people lose over 100 pounds. I have a girl in my group right now that's over 80 pounds lost. So it's so funny because when I have people talking, I hear a lot about it because I also work at the gym. Like, oh my gosh, if you want results, you need to go see Katrina. And that is like the greatest accomplishment I could ever have, and compliment, because if you want results, you come to me. Like, I've had 4 people tell me that literally already this year, just within the gym and my nutrition and everything. Like, if you want results, you see her, because it's just what she does. She doesn't take any less. And that's also in my personal training business. Like, these girls go to all these fitness classes, and when they don't work out, they're like, you want results, you go see Katrina. And that's been huge. And what do? I hook them up with Beachbody. Yes, I'm with them in their workout routines, but only 1 day a week. So the other 4, they're doing Beachbody programs and drinking our shake and following our nutrition plan. So it's kind of like, what do you want to be known for you as a coach? Are you just that really awesome cheerleader? You know, are you that person that is so dang dependable and accountable and motivating? Are you inspiring? Like, when you start making a brand awareness of who you are and start relating to that, you need to put that in there. Like, you know, I'm human, but I will motivate the hell out of you, or I will push you. Like, those are the things that need to show up in this call to action post, so they know beyond what they're getting. It's almost like a window of what they can expect from you. And by putting that out there repeatedly, people are going to tie that, you know, brand to who you are, and it will come out clearly in your call to action posts. So another thing you guys need to be mentioning is, like, if you're doing a flash sale and you're doing a money back, or if the product's on sale and $20 off, use the heck out of that verbiage. You know, we have a money back guarantee. Or if you're doing a flash sale, you know, if you purchase a challenge pack from me today, I'm going to give you $10 cash back. Or it's already on sale for $20 and I have a promo code for 10. You know, like, you want to use those somewhere in your call to action, and then add the urgency component of, but I'm only offering that to the first 3 people, like something like that. But with that, I think it's super important that you piggyback it with, you know, the value of our product. Like, I always am like, Amalia's training rate was something like $750 an hour, and you're getting him, you know, how many hours are in a year, or how many workouts, you know, 365 hours, because his workouts are about an hour long, you know, and you time 365 times 750, right? That is an astronomical value that you are getting in a compact. Another one I like to hit on a lot is convenient, you guys. You can do this in an airport. I just had one of my girls do it in an airport. So, bar in the airport, and she was on her story laughing up. She's just a customer. But I'm like, the convenience of this, you can do it anywhere. You don't have to get dressed to go to the gym. Like, those things are tidbits of things you can touch on. And like I said, you don't want to hit on all of these at once. But if you can use these in your call to action under the what they're getting, and you know what to do. Like, so many times the excuse, you have to combat the excuse before you make the post, right? So you have to hit on, for the mom that can't make it to the gym because she's at piano or baseball practice, she could do this on her lunch break at home, or in between laundry loads, or whatever you want to compare it to that's similar to your life, because that ties in your brand awareness. But you guys, so very few of us hit on convenience. And the last one on that is quality. The quality of our damn programs is so ridiculous, and it really truly is top of the line trainers for very, very little investment. And so if you're not utilizing that part in your call to action, you should. So those are the tips you're going to use to compose this call to action. So the next thing I want you to do is remember what that call to action is. It's the sentence that seals the deal. So at the very end of your content, maybe you hit on 2 or 3 of those tips. You know, you're going to get right to the point, you're going to use urgency, and you're going to talk about what they get. Or maybe you're going to go from, you know, from this to this, meaning who are you for before Beachbody, and a quick little synopsis of where you are after Beachbody. And then you're going to end that with that line that seals the deal, the call to action. And by doing that, you, if it's powerful enough, should have an amazing rate of return on that. So I hope that explains what a call to action is. I'm going to go ahead and type mine up and drop it in here for you guys to see. Mine won't go up. I like to post mine right at, you know, scrolling time, once everyone puts their kids to bed and is laying in bed, or evening, 7:30, 8 o'clock-ish. So maybe 8:30. So I'm going to go ahead and post it in here for you guys, one I've constructed and as an example, and I would love for you guys to post yours as well. All right, I hope you are enjoying the Success Club Babes group, and as always, if you have any questions, please reach out. I'm happy to help.